Thank you very much. Chair now recognizes Ms. Radewagen for 5 minutes.
Talofa laba. Thank you, Chairman Stauber and Ranking Member Ansari, for allowing me to participate in today's Energy and Mineral Resources hearing. Thank you to the witnesses for your testimony. The topic of today's hearing is one that stands to have a major impact on my home district of American Samoa. As has been reiterated several times today, the critical minerals issue is also an issue of national security. With one of the highest rates of military enlistment in the nation and being on the front lines of Chinese encroachment in the Pacific, the people of American Samoa understand very well. However, I want to highlight for my colleagues and the other interested parties present the potential cultural and economic impact this type of deep sea activity may have for a small island territory. To the indigenous people of American Samoa, the ocean is not just the backbone of our local economy, it is sacred. I understand that we are discussing federally controlled waters, but as it stands, the people of American Samoa are opposed to deep sea mining in and around the territory. We have yet to be convinced the benefits will outweigh the costs of this occurring so close to our beloved waters. Therefore, if the United States government is going to follow through on this venture, I must insist that we do so with the people of the territories in mind. First and foremost, our fishing stocks and seafloor need to remain intact. Fishing is our lifeblood, and if the technology is not ready or will disrupt the ecosystem, we simply can't proceed. Secondly, if the government does proceed, I ask that we explore and prioritize plans which directly bolster the economies of the communities closest to the mining activity, perhaps through a trust fund for residents or by investing in local infrastructure. This is a tactic we've chosen to combat Chinese influence. We would do well to remember who, where, and what it is we are trying to protect. With the committee's permission, I'd like to enter into the record the comments I submitted for BOEM's request for information and interest on commercial leasing for outer continental shelf minerals offshore American Samoa, which contains further details of my stance on the matter. In it, I echo the governor, all our local leaders, and the people's clear wishes not to mine in and around our islands and to ensure a minimum distance of at least 50 miles, preferably further, as is consistent with other commercial activities.
Entered up without objection.
Mr. Gunasekara, what timeline do you see for adoption of green tech versus legacy tech across the board, and how do you think yours or similar technologies' potential is to limit irreversible ecosystem damage?
Yeah, thank you very much for your question. We've spent the last 5 years developing our technology, but it is not yet at production size. We're working to scale up the technology. We have done deep sea testing, but it will take probably about another 3 years before we are ready for commercial deployments. And we are committed to doing an environmental impact assessment and a mining test with independent scientists to actually monitor the impact. And we have an agreement with the German government to do that next year.
Thank you, Mr. Gunasekara. In your testimony, you mentioned that should Impossible Metals receive the contract to extract minerals near American Samoa, you would voluntarily dedicate 1% of the profits to the territory. How would this offer of profit sharing change if the federal government were to provide their own subsidy to the territory based on the lease?
It wouldn't. We encourage the federal government to share revenues and lease fees with coastal communities, as is done in the Gulf of America for offshore oil and gas. That's something that we would like to see, but we have committed, no matter what, we will voluntarily commit 1% of profit.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back the balance of my time.